Okay, get this. Apple and Google, two of tech's biggest rivals, have just made a secret billion-dollar deal that is about to completely change the iPhone you're holding. We're going to break down what's happening, why it matters, and what it means for you. If you're into this kind of stuff, you're not going to want to miss what's coming, so do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right below, and let's get into it.
So let's start with a feeling we all know way too well. You ask Siri to do something that's not set a timer for 10 minutes, and it just kinda shrugs. For years, Siri, which was once this amazing pioneer, has felt like it's been left in the dust in this huge AI race.
All right, so here's the game plan. First, we're going to look at why Siri is in this mess to begin with. Then, we'll get into the secret billion-dollar handshake that's supposed to fix it. After that, we'll tackle the massive privacy problem this creates, the danger of an AI duopoly, and finally, the really strange ironic question at the very heart of this whole deal.
So first things first, Apple knows Siri is struggling. This isn't just us complaining. Their own top people have admitted it. They were even supposed to release a huge Siri overhaul this year, but they had to delay it because, well, their own AI just wasn't cutting it. And this right here really shows you the problem perfectly. On the one hand, you've got Siri as we know it. It's great for basic things, right? Setting an alarm or reminder, no problem. But on the other hand, you have these modern AIs like Gemini and ChatGPT that can have actual conversations, understand context, and plan out a whole weekend for you. It's a completely different league, and that's the chasm Apple was staring into.
So with this huge AI gap, Apple did something pretty much unthinkable. They went to their biggest rival, Google, for a lifeline. And the solution is basically a secret brain transplant for Siri, one that's designed to be totally invisible to us. And the price for this secret brain surgery? A reported $1 billion a year. That's not a one-time payment. That's how much Apple is willing to shell out every single year just to get Siri back in the game. And check this out. This shows you just how insane this upgrade really is. Apple's current AI model is running on about 150 billion parameters. The new Gemini brain they're plugging into Siri, 1.2 trillion parameters. I mean, that's not an upgrade. That's like trading in a go-kart for a rocket ship. But you gotta be asking, why Google? Well, Apple did its homework. They tested models from OpenAI and from Anthropic. And word on the street is that Anthropic's AI was actually better in their tests. But it was also way more expensive. Google came in with a much better price. Plus, the two companies already have that massive $20 billion a year search deal. So yeah, that existing relationship definitely helps seal the deal.
Now, here's where it gets really sneaky. Neither Apple nor Google wants to talk about this. The whole thing is happening behind the curtain. So when this new super smart Siri finally rolls out, it's just going to look like Apple pulled off a miracle all by themselves. You won't see a Powered by Google logo anywhere.
And this brings us to the elephant in the room, the privacy paradox. I mean, Apple's entire brand for the last decade has been built on one single idea: we protect your privacy. So how in the world do they partner with Google, a company whose entire business model is built on collecting our data?
I mean, just look at this. It's a complete clash of philosophies. Apple's big line is, privacy is a fundamental human right. And Google's business model is, built on analyzing and monetizing user data. They are polar opposites. So how does this even work?
Well, Apple's solution is all about building digital walls. Think of it as a 3-layer firewall. First, anything really personal, your calendar, your texts, that gets handled by Apple's own smaller AI, right there on your iPhone. Second, when Siri needs the big guns, the Gemini model does the work. But, and this is the critical part, it runs on Apple's own secure servers. Your data never touches Google's infrastructure. Google is just licensing out the engine. They don't get to see where you're driving.
This whole structure is also a really smart way to navigate tough privacy laws like the GDPR in Europe. Apple gets to say, look, we're the controller. We are in charge of how and why your data is processed. That makes Google just a processor, basically a hired tool that's contractually forbidden from doing anything with the data on its own.
But even if you buy the privacy argument, there's another huge problem here. Think about it. If Google's AI is the brain inside every Android phone and every iPhone, aren't we just sleepwalking into an AI duopoly? A world where just one or two companies control the intelligence for pretty much every single device we use?
And this quote from Computer World absolutely nails it. The big fear is that regulators are going to look at this deal and see it for what it is, a move that locks out competitors like OpenAI and Anthropic from the two biggest mobile platforms on the entire planet.
And you better believe the regulators are already watching.
That search deal these two have is already getting hammered in court, and that provides a perfect playbook for challenging this new AI partnership. Sure, in Europe, there's a new law that's supposed to force Apple to allow other assistants. But let's be real, Siri is so deeply baked into the iPhone, its home field advantage is almost impossible to beat.
And that brings us to my favorite part of this whole thing, the final and most ironic twist in this entire story. It's a huge contradiction that's happening inside Apple's own walls.
Okay, so check this out. A research paper published by Apple's own AI scientists basically says that these giant AI models can't actually reason. Their research found that when you give these models a genuinely new problem they've never seen before, they just break. They hit a complexity wall and collapse to 0%. They're just incredibly good at simulating intelligence by recognizing patterns.
So here's the billion-dollar question, right? If your own top researchers are telling you that this technology is fundamentally flawed and can't truly reason, why are you writing a billion-dollar check every year to put that exact technology into the brain of Siri?
And the answer seems to be pure pragmatism. This deal is a shortcut. It's a way for Apple to buy time and immediately bridge an embarrassing capability gap. But this isn't the end game. While they're paying Google, they're pouring billions and billions of dollars into building their own AI hardware, their own infrastructure for the long term. They're partnering for now so they can dominate later.
So in the end, this whole secret deal leaves us with a really tough question. We're about to get a Siri that is light years better than what we have today, no question. But we have to ask ourselves, is that convenience worth it if the price is a world with less competition, fewer choices, and an AI future that's controlled by just one or two companies?